On a cold, snowy winter's night, December 5th, good children are full of joy as they get ready for bed. For the following day is the feast of St. Nicholas, and their good deeds have not gone unnoticed. They will awaken to gifts of chocolate or a toy, but all of them are not rushing to bed that night. The bad children are awake all night, thinking of their misdeeds when suddenly their nightmares come true. Just down the hall, he hears the sound of heavy chains approaching his door. He knows there's no use in screaming as his fate is already sealed, and with the huff, the monster appears. A large horned creature covered in chains carrying a bundle of birch sticks! And in one fell swoop, the creature that is Krampus takes the child, stuffing him into a large sack, and disappearing into the ice-cold night. Join us as we explore Krampus and other Christmas monsters on this very merry I'm Not Crazy Christmas special. So we're going to cover the Christmas monsters.
Hey.
It's going to be Christmas monsters.
Awesome. Are we live right now?
I don't know. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the I'm Not Crazy podcast. My name is Andrew Venor. I am the host. Today, I'm joined with my cousin again. It's Matthew Provenzano. Matthew Provenzano. Matthew Provenzano.
Just
That's
Matt
his
is
name.
okay.
Matthew Provenzano.
All right.
What's your middle name? James?
John. James. Thanks for having me on again.
Felix?
Merry Christmas, Andrew.
It's good to see you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for inviting me to your very special Christmas I'm Not Crazy podcast.
Yeah. Every time we say it totally different from the last.
The very special I'm Not Crazy Christmas special.
The I'm Not Special Crazy Christmas.
Crazy Christmas
I'm Not.
spectacular. And it is the season of giving, so I do have something for you.
Wow. Do you?
Yes, I do.
I didn't give you anything.
That's okay. No, this was a gift. You gave me the opportunity to be on this podcast, so I thought I'd give you a little something.
Wow.
And I want to emphasize, this is not your Christmas gift, for the both of us.
Yeah, that's a totally different
Yeah.
thing.
Here you go. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Go ahead, open it up.
Why is it cold and wet?
Just open it up.
It's a banana.
Merry Christmas.
It's a banana. Did you ever see that video of the kid getting a banana? It's a banana. Wow. Wow, thanks, man.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
I appreciate that. I mean, I am Donkey Kong, so
Yeah,
that
exactly.
really helps.
Right.
Is there something at the bottom here? Is there a note?
No, that's it.
Oh, I'm checking as if you're lying to me.
No, I swear to God. That bag was from my mother.
I'm stepping on it because fuck you and your family.
And also, we should emphasize that this was a gift from a wonderful friend,
Yeah,
Nick
so we
Somo.
have something else too from Nick, the newest member of our team. Nick, you want to say something from all the way over there?
No.
All right, cool.
All right.
We got something else. We got this framed. You want to pass that picture over here so I could throw it on the
Oh, yes.
with my hands?
Yeah.
We're filling out the background. Dad, I covered some of the things on the wall. Are those
Did
being
you just
covered soon?
reference your dad?
Yeah, because last time he was like, I watched it. It was really good, but what's going on with the things on the back of the wall over there? And I said, I'm going to cover them soon. This was given to us by Nick. It was gifted for the show. It's beautiful. If it looked familiar, it's because he also did the artwork to the show. So give it up for Nick at home in your car. If you're on your way to work, start clapping, even if you're driving.
And people listening to the audio-only podcast should go to YouTube.
That is
then
true.
they can
If
see
you would
that
like
picture.
to see it,
Yeah.
you could go to YouTube at I'm Not Crazy Podcast. It's at I'm Not Crazy. I was the first one to grab that. As soon as the at, like you were allowed to do the at, it was the day that I made the YouTube channel. And it was like, hey, there's a new thing. You want to set it up? And I did at I'm Not Crazy. I was the first one. So
Nice.
I'm really happy about that.
Very good.
Yeah, the TikTok too. I've been making some short form content. It's actually going really well. If you like it, it's the little bits that I find in between research for the episodes. So if you like it and you want to see more, go there. So there's that. Matthew is the guest. I'm just reading in order of what I wrote here. We already got to you, so that's good.
This is good.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
There was a sale. I got 3 boxes of Swiss Miss for $4 today. So I hope you like hot chocolate, buddy.
I believe you said before the camera started rolling that you'll have enough until next Christmas.
I did say that. And I also accidentally got 2 things of milk, different sizes. So
Nice. Do I have a
Cheers,
milk
bud.
mustache?
yes.
Nice.
We were originally going to do Krampus today. But it turns out that when you're covering just kind of like a holiday entity, once you get past the holiday entity story. It's just a lot of history about how people took over other people's religions for decades at a time, and that's not fun. So I decided to craft a bunch of Christmas monsters all together. We're going to go over, I believe, 7 or 8 different Christmas monsters.
I'm excited.
They range. We're going to start from whimsical and fun all the way down to terrifying. And as I told you before we started rolling, Krampus is mid in the list. He's right dead set in the middle, if that shows you anything about the list that we're going for here. So the last ones are pretty brutal.
Cool. I want to say that last time I was on the show when we talked about Orson Welles, I was kind of knowledgeable in that subject. I have no fucking clue about any of this. The only thing is that my brain is telling me that Krampus eats children every Christmas.
Close.
Okay, that's all I know.
It depends. Yeah, he could eat. He could eat them. We're gonna
he
get
can do
to
whatever he wants.
He has
really.
two very specific things that he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
I don't want to
pretty-
jump the gun, so we'll.
Yeah, one of them is just so. It's just like, how'd you jump from A to B here? But I guess we'll see later.
Oh God.
Very brief history of Christmas.
Vomit.
Right? Very brief history of Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to bore you too much with the history of Christmas, as it's pretty boring at times.
Right.
Who would have thought that the history of Christmas is boring? As many already know, the date of Jesus' birth is highly contested. Right?
I love that this is how it's starting.
But it is a total mystery. No matter who you watch that says that they know the origin, they guessed it, it is a complete mystery. And not only is it a mystery, but for the first 200 years of Christianity, no one gave a fuck about Jesus' birthday. No one celebrated. No one cared. It didn't mean anything, right? Mm-hmm. The Christmas season was always between December and January, historically. The date of December 25th was officially crowned as Christmas in 336 AD by Emperor Constantine in Rome, and it took about 600 years for Christmas to gain significance and become an actual celebrated holiday.
Yeah.
So Christmas wasn't really celebrated until the thousands number of time period.
Yeah.
And then between that to 1300 was when it developed and traditions from all these different places start to develop, right?
Yeah.
The meaning of Christmas stems from the story and the birth of Jesus, and the traditions of Christmas finds their roots heavily influenced by pagan celebrations as well. When I was writing this episode, okay, you don't think about how fucking weird it is that there's 2 totally different stories for Christmas, and they're just both simultaneously things that we learned growing up, and they have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not even a little bit. Santa never has anything to do with Jesus. It's how did those 2 things happen, right?
Yeah. Well, Jesus is the reason for the season, after all.
Well, we're going to find out that the people that say keep Christ in Christmas should go a little bit further with their history, because Christmas had no real right to be there at all. He really hurt a lot of people by doing what he did there. So,
Oh. Jesus?
yeah.
I lost track of what you were talking about.
Yeah, the history of this holiday is just Christianity spreading and then going into places going oh, you have a holiday on the 25th? That's our holiday now. And they just kept all the traditions, but just inserted Jesus into it. And it was the easiest way to convert people.
Right.
And that's exactly what they did. They just inserted themselves into things until they were inserted into things. It is seen now that the date of December 25th was picked for political reasons, as Constantine was fully aware of centuries-old celebrations to the god Saturn on the very, very same day. And anywhere that winter was a thing, they had celebrations for winter either ending or the middle of winter, because they were afraid of evil spirits, because winter was terrifying for everyone.
Yeah.
The idea would be basically replace Saturn with Jesus, thus making the transition to Christianity much smoother. Though this didn't work very well, with half of the empire acknowledging January 6th this Christmas as a way to hold on to their old traditions, this technique was then implemented everywhere Christianity was forced into, helping turn the common pagan winter tradition into the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ instead. Though most of these transitions to Christianity were forced, these meldings of local winter celebrations with Christian ideas help blur the lines between pagan and Christian traditions. And this is very much why we have the idea of Santa, of a Santa-type entity bringing gifts under a tree, while we also have the story of Jesus Christ with very little crossover, surprisingly little crossover. And that's basically what we're going to get into for Christmas. So there's 2 sides to the Christmas season. There's the pre-pagan and after-pagan. And there's a surprising amount of fun after Christianity comes in, because you just get these like fucking crazy traditions that just get turned upside down and they just make no sense by the end.
Yeah.
There's a pooping log. I didn't put this in. I want to say it's somewhere in Eastern Europe. I don't know specifically where, but basically they have a log and it has like a sheet over it and they put a little face on the end and it has like two little stubs for arms and it sits up and you act like you feed it over the month and then you beat it with a stick and presents come out and it looks like it's shitting out presents. I don't understand how these traditions happened and how they just kept going over the years.
I envisioned that as you were saying it. I like a printer in my head going.
Yeah.
Going
It's easy to visualize, but it's hard to imagine, if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah. Wait, is that where Yule log comes from?
No. So Yule is actually the pagan celebration of winter. The reason that we have trees for Christmas has nothing to do with Christianity, and that was also something I was like, why do we have trees for Christmas? I never knew. It's because the tree is used as a symbol of like spring coming, and they would put gifts under the tree because it was basically like the first tree of spring is giving the gifts of life, and they would get food and stuff.
Cute. I feel like most Christmas traditions that we celebrate now or we adhere to in today's days that have nothing to do with Christianity. I know that's basically what you just said, but like except going to church, really there's like the garland, lights, Christmas trees, presents, Santa Claus, reindeer.
Like Christmas gets this reputation as being like a commercial holiday used to like get people to spend money and all that shit.
Yeah.
But Christmas has kind of always been a holiday used for some type of other agenda. Christmas is very divisive if you are an ancient person. Who would have thought? We get into the creatures. I just wanted to get into the history there a little bit because I didn't want to have to repeat it with every single monster, because basically every single one of them has the pagan version and then the Christian version, and it's not interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to everyone assume that all of these monsters have pagan and Christian roots, and they all just kind of figured its way out, and I'll give specific details of what happened as we go. Okay. So now we're going to get into our first creature, Santa Claus. And I know what you're thinking. Andrew, Santa Claus is a man. Yeah, well, what man...
Are you about to make the Santa Claus joke?
I don't know if I am. Wait with me.
All right, let's go.
What man lives forever and makes toys? I don't know of any. I'm pretty sure Santa is a god or an entity or a creature of some sort.
Well, yeah, he's supposed to be a why do you... Is this like your smoking gun? Like,
yeah. So fuck you. Santa is real.
Yeah, Santa's not supposed to be a human. He's supposed to be a celestial being that brings happiness to children.
I don't know. Some people think he's a man. Did you ever see the Tim Allen movies?
Well,
Tim Allen was just a father.
Well, Tim...
Not a good one either.
Then he became Kris Kringle.
Yeah. Well, he didn't become Kris Kringle. He became Santa Claus. There's two different beings.
So why is Santa named Kris Kringle?
He's not. Kris Kringle, St. Nicholas, and Santa Claus are three different things.
So why...
We're going to get into this right now. It turns out I have the history of Santa Claus in front of me. Who would have thought?
Is it like... sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. Santa is often seen as an eternal being who takes the presence of a robust man, often dressed in white, red, or green, and who spends all year creating toys for good children across the planet. He is then said to use either teleportation or some kind of magic to deliver presents to all Christian children across the planet. The origins of the entity is unknown. We don't know where Santa comes from. But weirdly enough, out of all of these creatures, the idea of an old man with a beard giving you a gift during winter is like one of the oldest traditions in human history. It's so strange.
One myth that I would like to squash right now.
Do it. Squash it.
I think you might know what it is.
Like a fucking beetle.
The visual of Santa Claus, with the beard, the old man with jolly cheeks, red hair, all of that stuff, did not come from Pepsi.
No, of course not.
A lot of people think that the first, like Santa Claus, as we know him today, came from Pepsi
Santa Claus.
advertisements.
The Santa that we know started in like 1886. That was when the night. What's
the night? 'Twas the night before.
'Twas the night. I think it's 1886 or 1887, something like that. And then that had a picture of Santa on the front, and then they just kind of ran with that. And they had postcards. It goes way farther than Pepsi ever did.
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, Pepsi might have like made it, I don't know, more like solidified and popular, but they didn't create it. The origins of the entity is unknown, and he has been found to go by many names, such as Father Christmas, St. Nicholas, and Kris Kringle, with the history tracing back to very early pagan belief, as we had said. The idea of a Santa-type figure is shockingly old. The oldest idea of a Santa archetype is actually found in the god of Odin in Norse mythology. Kind of crazy that it goes that fucking far back.
Santa could become a Marvel character.
So don't say that. Or go into Fortnite, because I think he might be in Fortnite, actually. I think Santa... Is Santa in Fortnite? Nick, is Santa in Fortnite?
There's definitely a version of Santa in Fortnite. And, like, what's it called? Yeah, like, you can't Kamehameha anybody anymore, but there was an event where your cousin was sick.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Thanks.
Jesus Christ.
So Odin was said to be the leader of the Wild Hunt, a group of spirits and paranormal entities that would thunder through the sky, and they would give each other gifts, and they would get, like, chocolate and shit as kids. And it was basically celebrating Odin, who is a robust man with a big long beard flying through the sky on a horse. We're getting there.
Yeah. Slowly but surely forming Santa Claus.
Forming
Sinterklaas.
Santa Claus. The entity of Odin slowly merged with Saint Nicholas, also known as Sinterklaas.
You know what's funny? I said Sinterklaas as a joke. I didn't realize you
Sinterklaas
wrote...
is a real thing.
Yeah.
So Sinterklaas is Saint Nicholas, and that's where Santa Claus comes from. So Santa Claus is the American version of Saint Nicholas. Just like in England, they call him Father Christmas, who technically is not Santa nor Saint Nicholas.
So is Santa Claus the result of the telephone game with the word Sinterklaas?
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
That's really funny. They just said it wrong.
It just became the Americanized version of it. The idea of Sinterklaas came over with immigrants when they started coming over in the early 1900s, and then it went from Santa Claus to Santa Claus. But so just to give a little backstory, I'm gonna just explain the difference between Santa, which I just okay. So Santa Claus is a bastardization of Sinterklaas.
Yes.
Sinterklaas is a tiny man who has a white beard, and he rides on a tiny sleigh with tiny reindeer, and that's how he was able to get in chimneys, because he's tiny.
Okay.
So now we have
that.
image of Santa. We have that legend.
Yeah.
They just basically became one thing, and it became this big, robust man that was able to go down chimneys and give you presents.
Right.
Then the sleigh and the reindeer came from the Sinterklaas legends, and then the robust, like, ha, ho, ho, that whole thing came from the Father Christmas version.
Ha, ho, ho, as we all know.
Yeah.
Classic Santa.
Yeah, and it's all over. Ha, ho, ho. Ha, ho, ho.
Ha, ho, ho.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Scrooge heard. So, which is funny because Father Christmas is the third person that he meets. The second Ghost of Christmas is Father.
You've
Father
played
Christmas.
the second Ghost of Christmas, Pat.
Wow, what if I have? You're
You
right.
have.
And I laugh in it.
Yes, you play the Ghost of Christmas Past,
Wow. What a fucking crossover.
right?
So basically, the idea of Saint Nick was just a skinny man in a red robe with a beard, and he was supposed to be the Saint Nicholas, like the actual Saint Nicholas. That was the Christian influence, more or less. And all of these things, Santa Claus, Sinterklaas, Saint Nicholas, Father Christmas, they all became one thing, and that's how we got the modern day Santa Claus, which was solidified by things like, to be fair, Pepsi and all that stuff. That gave it more of a global image. But for a long time, if you went to a different place, Santa was just a totally different thing.
Interesting. It's crazy.
All right, 1 of 6 down. 7, sorry. So now we're going to get into the fun stuff. Okay. And now these first couple are really stupid. They're really stupid. This one, if you look, it's a 3-sentence paragraph. But I couldn't not introduce this one.
I love the way it ends.
Because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, we have quite a few here, and I'm so excited to see what you think because they're so dumb.
How do you pronounce this?
So this is the Mary Lowid.
All right.
I believe that's how you say it. I had to look it up. It's Welsh.
Okay.
So who the fuck knows? I'm pretty sure it's the Mary Lowid.
All right.
Or Lloyd. I'm sorry, Mary Lloyd.
Mary Lloyd.
So the Mary Lloyd is a ghost horse or death horse, which is found in Wales. And by ghost horse or death horse, I mean a ghost horse. He was said to come during the Festival of the Ass, which is which they also would name the Feast of the Ass, which is my favorite feast. And it would and you would it was celebrating the donkey that Mary rode on, and somehow that got construed into you have to rap through your door for a ghost horse. So anyway, It is described as a ghostly horse with a skull, a cow skull for a head. So it was basically like the ghost of a horse, and then it had a big cow skull for a head.
I'm thinking, you ever see Ghost Rider?
Yes.
I'm thinking
like the horse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
more
a
or less.
horse, skeleton
It's basically
horse.
just a skeleton of a head. I don't know why it has to be a cow. Whatever. It wanders the streets during Christmas time, raising the dead to join with it. So it'll just walk down the streets with your dead relatives following it.
Wow.
Creepy as shit. It then tries to get into your home by any means possible to cause mischief. But there's a way to get the Mary Lloyd, whatever it is, to leave you alone. You have to rhyme at the beast well enough to chase it away. So basically, a ghost horse comes up to your door, and you got to have a rap battle with it in Welsh.
Okay, Andrew, you ready?
Have you ever spoke Welsh? I don't think rap sounds good in Welsh.
I'm going to be the Mary Lloyd. You have to try and stop me. Ready?
Okay.
Go. You have to rhyme. Go.
My
not
name
gonna
is
leave.
Andrew, and I'm here to say Merry Christmas. Here's some hay, because you're a horse, and that is mean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cover you with seam, man.
I'm just going to gently gallop away now.
Imagine if that's what happened every Christmas. It's just that door
That
to
was
door.
actually a scratched line from Hamilton. I'm going to cover you with C, man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because they were all presidents.
Right.
They loved covering each other in semen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. That's the Mary Lloyd. I just had to include it. That's the most, least fucking... You'll forget about that in 6 minutes. It's just so funny. Okay, so now we're going to get into the real list.
Okay.
This is the Yule Lads and the Yule Cat. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
This sounds like a shitty Disney movie.
It basically is. The Yule Lads are a group of 13 mischievous gnome-like creatures, each with their own distinct trouble, which they cause. They hail from the Icelandic region, which is big with gnomes and giants and shit like that, being accompanied by the Yule Cat, which we will touch on in a bit.
Oh my god, there's a list.
Here's a list of the recognized Yule Lad titles and descriptions as per, can you guess who made this list? Look at me. The Smithsonian. Who would have thought?
Why does the Smithsonian have anything to do with...
The list here, and we're going to go one Yule Lad at a time, and we're going to describe what they did. Okay? Very common to today's... they all have very common... if they were around today, let's just say they wouldn't be causing too much mischief. You know, I don't have any sheep in my yard. So, we got the sheepcoat clod. He tried to suckle ewes in farmers' sheep sheds, and we all know what that's about. Wink, wink. So... Next up, we got the Gully Gawk. He steals foam from buckets of cows and milk.
Steal the whole bucket.
Just the foam. They're mischievous. They're not
But that's
trying
not
to
gonna cause any mischief.
Yes, it is.
Steal the milk.
Where has my foam gone?
What are they going to need milk foam for?
For cheese making, my friend. I don't know if that's true or not.
Gully Gawk.
The next one is just called Stubby. He's short and steals food from frying pans. If you have a pot, you're good.
Stubby has a better plan than Gully Gawk.
Well, then we got Spoon Licker. He licks spoons. Now, can I just tell you, okay? This list is even funnier because I didn't write it. I copy and pasted this from the Smithsonian website. And it says, Spoon Licker, he licks spoons. Pot Scraper, a.k.a. Pot Licker. He steals unwashed pots and licks them clean.
Oh, well, that's...
Yeah, I don't know. That's not really mischievous. That's like a weird favor. A lot of liquors. We got Bowl Licker.
Oh, no, this is interesting. This was actually my nickname in college.
Bowl Licker, yeah. He steals bowls of food from under the bed. Back in the old days, Icelanders used to sometimes store bowls of food there. Convenient for midnight snacking. Smithsonian website, by the way. Door Slammer. Can you guess what he does?
You live downstairs from this guy.
He stomps around and slams doors, keeping everyone awake. My last landlord was the door slammer, it turns out. The Skyer Gobbler. He eats all the Icelandic yogurt, also known as Skyer.
Fucking Skyer Gobbler.
Oh, all my Skyer's always gone. And you know who's not taking it? The sausage swiper. He loves stealing sausages.
It actually specifies he loves stolen sausages.
Stolen sausages,
So maybe he
yeah.
doesn't steal them. He
And
just
then
loves
this
them.
one is just creepy. This is the window peeper. This is the bad one out of all of them. This is the one doing crimes. He likes to creep outside windows and sometimes steal stuff as he sees inside.
Wow.
That's creepy.
That is creepy.
Yeah. Door sniffer. He has a large nose and an insatiable appetite for stolen baked goods.
That's me.
Yeah, you are the door sniffer. Meat hook, that was my nickname in high school.
Nice.
He catches up any meat left behind, especially smoked lamb, which I could say is probably plentiful in Iceland.
It's like the guy from Golden Axe.
It is like the guy from Golden Axe, the little the one that you beat with the Candle beggar. He steals candles, which used to be sought-after items in Iceland. These 13 guys would show up one at a time for all 13 days of the Yuletide season. So it would be from December 13th until December 25th.
Did people actually believe this?
This was this is something that is still celebrated. This is the
Where?
The Yule lads in Iceland. The Yule lads are one of the bigger traditions out of Europe.
But that's not joyful.
Well, every day they leave mischiefs, but we're going to get into the joyful part.
Okay,
Shut the
so,
fuck
sorry. Except that's like, I don't want to...
Shut up.
I
We're
don't wanna
talking about the
celebrate
Yule
my
lads.
sausage being stolen.
Well, then don't go to the sausage swiper. They would leave their shoes on the windowsill every day. So one by one, you would get a pair of shoes every day. So by the 13th day, you'd have 13 pairs of shoes. And if you were good, they would be filled with candy. But if you were bad, they'd get filled with rotten potatoes. That would be so smelly. The Yule lad are then followed by the Yule cat on Christmas Eve, a giant cat who would eat any children that weren't dressed in new clothes for the celebration. So if you were poor, you were getting eaten by the Yule cat.
Wow.
It was just a giant kitty cat with claws, and it would go.
I like that.
You. Yeah,
I like the
cute.
Yule cat.
So it seems like we're going to get into the next one. The next one is also related to the Yule lads. They're kind of like a package deal.
Yeah.
The Yule lads, the Yule cat, and Grilla is her name. They're all kind of in this Icelandic idea. And, again, not to just keep saying the same thing over and over again, but these are all traditions that were very old and then got rolled into Christianity. So they're super fucking weird because they were just like, I don't know, what if she's a Christian giant and she's gross because she's a giant, but she loves Jesus. And that was just kind of how they went across all this. You'll understand why I said giant in a minute. Because Grill is a giant.
Now, I want to specify, you are not saying gorilla.
No, Grilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Grilla.
Not like Donkey Kong.
Grilla.
Spell it.
Grilla.
G-R-Y.
L-A. So where the Yule lads would show up on the 13 days before Christmas, and then Christmas Eve you get the Yule cat, Grilla would be there the entire month of December. She would just be in the mountains, and she'd come down and just fucking cause mischief. You ready? This is where things start to get a little crazy. Another Icelandic monster, Grilla, is said to be a giantess with a hidden appearance and terrible stench. She would come down from her cave in the mountains to terrorize naughty children during the winter festivities, being eventually adopted into Christmas. She is also said to be the owner of the Yule cat and also associated with the Yule lads, but only by season from what I can find. So they're not like... The Yule cat is literally her pet, whereas the Yule lads are just kind of also like, oh, you're fucking doing this too. That's crazy. It's just, they just happen to be in the same town together, Like two bands on tours that cross paths.
Right.
And
touch tips.
I bet they did. Her punishment for bad children was pretty straightforward. She would come to town and seek out all the bad kids. She would kidnap them and stuff them into a giant sack, where she would carry them all the way back up to her cave. The children would then be skinned and chopped into pieces, before then being made into a stew. This stew was Grilla's favorite, and she was said to always find what she wanted.
I don't know what to do with that.
So she would take children and skin them.
I don't know what to do with Grilla.
And make stew out of them. This is the one that introduces all these monsters getting crazy.
Did she eat the stew?
Of course she did. She loved it. It was her favorite. She would sometimes just eat children as a snack.
We don't even get the
was
stew?
her favorite. What do you mean?
Like, I would think there's some kind of celebratory thing with this.
No, the stew was not something people wanted because it had their children in it.
So it could have just been anyone. She could have been doing anything with the children. She could have just been killing them and making a
parfait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
How
no,
do we know she's making a
is-
stew?
If she needed a parfait, she would have had to go to fucking what's his name, Skyer Gobbler, and get all that Icelandic yogurt. Am I right? No, but she would take them, skin them, chop them up, and make them into stew.
I don't like that at all. I don't like Gira. Garilla?
Grilla.
I don't like Grilla.
Grilla. Well, she loved eating children.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now that we got to the Icelandic creatures, right? We got the Yule cat,
I feel like I just got whiplash.
the Yule lads, and Grilla,
Yeah.
their giantess leader, who is based off of a pagan Icelandic god.
Yeah.
We're finally going to get to him.
Okay.
The man that everyone's been waiting for.
Here we go.
Krampus!
Question: wasn't there a movie released?
Krampus means claws in German.
That wasn't what I asked.
Would you ask?
Did you legitimately not hear me?
I did. I wasn't even listening.
I said, wasn't there a movie in the last 10 years?
Oh.
And you said, Krampus means claws.
Yes, and it has Ben from fucking It's Always Sunny. No, those are two different things. What's it? The Office? Adam Scott. Adam Scott's in it. Yeah, it's a comedy horror
That's
movie.
not-
It's actually really good.
It's good?
Yeah, it's really
it's a
good.
comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam Scott's great in it.
Does it have anything to do with this?
Krampus. It means claws in German. Krampus is known as the Christmas demon. And usually a companion to St. Nicholas, not Santa Claus.
Companion?
Companion.
Like friends?
Companion.
Wow.
So Krampus is the... Again, this is the reason why I did everything in the order I did it in.
Yeah.
Krampus is a companion to St. Nicholas. Not Santa Claus, Sinterklaas, or Kris Kringle, or Father Christmas.
Yeah.
St. Nicholas.
Save it. Right. You're sweating.
Hailing from Central and Eastern Europe, Krampus is generally described as a giant beast, sometimes with the appearance of a goat, covered in chains and matted fur, with two devilish horns stretching far from his head. He is said to punish the bad children, while St. Nicholas rewarded the good. This was done in a range of ways, like giving the bad kids coal, beating them with birch sticks, all the way to kidnapping them and drowning them in a special basket. Those were the really bit. They got drowned in it. What do you mean? What's the special? It's pretty special. He only drowned children in it.
I like the fact that he's like this shape-shifting demon.
Yeah,
like,
and he's just like, just pushing it. Yeah. Birch sticks. So the tradition is that on December 5th is Krampusnacht.
Say it one more time.
Krampusnacht. Can you guess what that means?
No.
Krampus night.
Oh, shit.
It's really close to that. So this night was Krampus's time to go to work, followed by the feast of St. Nicholas on the 6th. So at the time, any parents cruel enough to tell their children Krampus was coming for them were able to do just that. And those kids would just sit and wait for a giant demon to come down and drown them or beat them with sticks, or both.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine being a kid. We couldn't sleep because we were excited. They couldn't sleep because they thought they were going to get drowned by a demon.
And beat with sticks.
And beat with sticks first. Just drown them.
I'm imagining the devil at the end of Tenacious D with a big stick. Like,
That's
whacking you.
Basically, kids would just be terrified all night. They'd be just scared shit.
Yeah.
Krampus and Krampus-like figures are known to have existed from the 3rd to the 4th century, with him most likely being merged with St. Nicholas for a few reasons. Reasons. I'm just going to keep that in reasons. I messed it up 5 times. First, to again make it easier to convert pagans, and second, to give the Christian deity the good and righteous job, while the pagan demon got to be evil. But the true origin of the beast is unknown, and thought to have developed from other horned archetypes found in human history, such as the Greek satyr, aka Danny DeVito and Hercules. That is a satyr. So Danny DeVito, the little pig guy with that's a satyr, right?
Get your sword!
So satyrs, there you go, man. You sound just like I thought Danny DeVito was here.
He is.
It's just like it's a half goat, half human with horns, and they would play flutes, and they'd be these ethereal beings, right? They are some of the oldest legends in human history. Are these like horned men that would walk the forest? Krampus goes all the way back to that, even possibly being also associated with the Wild Hunt, being an army that's made of Krampus-like figures, who is led by the next deity we will talk about, Perkta. Perkta. So Perkta is fucking awesome.
Is Perkta scary?
Perkta's so scary.
All right, tell me about
She's kind
Perkta.
of a pain in the ass, too. We're going to get into Perkta. Perkta's a funny one.
Okay.
You're going to like Perkta. I think Perkta's going to be your favorite. So Perkta, or the Christmas Witch, is said to change appearance depending on your fate upon meeting her. Ooh. If you met her requirements, she would appear as a beautiful woman dressed all in white. But if you did not meet her requirements, she would have the appearance of an old, haggard witch in dirty rags.
I feel like that's carried over till today. There's a lot of stories like that.
Everybody's just afraid of creepy old ladies. It turns out that old people go crazy when they get older because they're old, and back in the day people didn't know how to handle that, so they would just push them out into like the woods, and then they would get mad at them when they started to go crazy because they lived out in the woods by themselves and they were 80, and then they would kill them because they thought they were witches. She is said to roam the countryside during the Christmas season and scold anyone who didn't uphold to her requirements. And now I haven't said what those requirements are, so you may be asking, what were the requirements?
That's what I was asking. I'm not even joking. I want to know.
Well, Perkta was kind of a pain in the ass. That's written there. Her big concern was that women in the house were spinning threads during the holiday season, which was strictly forbidden. So spinning threads would be like making yarn to then make into other things, right? It's like making... It was literally making yarn.
Why was that forbidden?
I don't know. But they didn't do it during holiday seasons, right? It was against God or something. She was obsessed with spinning, and she would go into your house and make sure that you weren't spinning yarn. Because what was expected of you was that in the beginning of the season, you were to spin as much yarn as you could to then stockpile so that during the Christmas season, you didn't spin yarn.
So we'll never know why spinning yarn was...
I couldn't really find specifically why other than just don't do it. You know, that's basically what they all said was just don't do it though, because you can't, because it's holiday seasons. Don't spin that yarn.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's so strange.
And if you did, an old haggard witch would come and...
Well, you're gonna find out what she'd do. Perkta would punish the lazy women that did not get the extra spinning done because she was just mad at them. She was also very concerned with the cleanliness of the houses that she visited, as well as the behavior of the children. With the good children being rewarded with a coin in their shoe, which is a common thing. Apparently, gifts are just given in shoes.
She sounds like a bitch.
She's awful. Also, you had to leave porridge out at night, or she would also get upset.
Porridge? Yeah. Santa has cookies. I'm going to make fucking porridge for Perkta?
So, this is where the Santa thing comes from. It's leaving food out. It comes from Perkta.
Really? Yeah. Santa's easy.
But her punishments were completely nuts.
Oh.
If you weren't able to spin the yarn needed before the season, she'd burn down your loom, making it impossible to spin more yarn if you wanted to.
What's a loom? Is that like a hole?
A loom is what you spin yarn. It's you put it over and then you like twist it, and it becomes strands of yarn that you could then sew.
Just burn it down.
She would just burn it down, which is dangerous. You can't burn down a loom in a house.
Yeah, in the house.
Yeah, that's a looming threat. If your house was unkempt, Perkta was said to beat you mercilessly with birch sticks.
Again, with the sticks.
Birch sticks were a big problem back then.
People back then weren't creative enough to think of something else other than
they beat
beating
people
you
with birch sticks. That was a common punishment back then, was getting beat with birch sticks.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. That was basically like your lashes. If you managed to break all of her rules at once, didn't leave porridge, unkempt house, fucking spinning, you know? She would come into your room while you slept, disembowel you, stuffing you with hay and stones. And anyone was subject to her wrath, man, child, or woman.
I'd rather get beaten with the sticks.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear me, she would come into your room and disembowel you and stuff you full of hay and stones and just sew you back up and leave you there.
While you slept?
I mean, I would assume you'd probably wake up at some point.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, put that back.
Is that my heart?
Now, Perkta's origins are very difficult to trace back, if not harder than Santa and Krampus.
Yeah.
But we know that she originates from the northern Alpine area of Europe, which are the Alpine Mountains. Some even believing her to date back to Odin and the Wild Hunt once again. So there's kind of like a band of characters in the Wild Hunt, and it always kind of boils down to being one of those characters.
Yeah.
And all of those places were Norse, influenced, because they were all getting taken over by Vikings all the time. So, that's kind of how all that spread. Now, she is even attributed to be the same origins for both St. Nicholas and Krampus, as she represents both the light and the dark. But this is just speculation. But for the most part, historians kind of feel that Perkta is both Santa and Krampus rolled into one character. She would give you gifts, but she would also, disembowel you and stuff you with hay.
Right. Just like Santa.
Just like Santa. Yep. As far as we know, the Winter Witch could be walking the countryside as we speak, very bored as no one spins yarn anymore and vacuums are widely available to the public.
Walking around with her stick.
Yeah, that's Perkta.
I have a broad question.
Yeah.
In all of your research, and also, if you didn't find this, do you think that there exists Rule 34 of any of these creatures?
I hope so.
Of these creatures.
I hope so. I've been doing a lot of research. It would be nice to get some payoff.
Because while you were talking about Perkta, all I'm thinking is that someone's getting off to
those
this.
Perkta titties.
Oh, that looks like...
Oh, shit. Damn it.
Let's high five. Hurry. Okay.
See?
We did it.
Now we're getting to the last of our monsters.
Hans Trap. I believe he was the villain in Die Hard.
No, he was not.
It's a Christmas episode.
So last we have Hans Trap, possibly the scariest of all of them. Okay, this one, again, kind of has nothing to do with... This is more of like an urban legend than it is Christmas, but it's from the 1400s, so it's fucking really cool. So, the legend goes that a man by the name of Hans Trap sought to make a deal with the devil in 1400s France.
I like it.
He was rich and powerful, even feared. But that wasn't enough for Trap. He was said to have made that deal with the devil, getting himself excommunicated in the process. It was said that the Pope himself excommunicated Hans Trap because of his deal with the devil. He was reduced to making a home in the mountains away from prying eyes. With the deal already being made with the devil, but having no way of gaining power or money, Trap began to fester and lose his mind, and he would eventually start to crave human flesh. One day he decided to go out and find some for him, while also dressing as a scarecrow to help hide in the trees. I don't know why he chose a scarecrow, because they don't go in the trees.
Yeah, just dress like a...
Anything
else.
Yeah. He came across a little boy walking on the road nearby. What do you want to name the kid?
7.
No, name him like a good human name. Like
Alvin.
Let's get attached to him. Alvin?
Yeah.
Okay. He stabbed the boy with a stick and took him back to his lair, where he would cut him into pieces and roast him. As soon as he tried to cook and eat the cursed meat, he was struck down by what can only be described as divine lightning. But it's said that the lightning killed the man, but not the evil inside. So now he takes the form of a scarecrow, endlessly feeding on naughty children during the Christmas time.
Holy shit.
How cool is Hans Trap? Hans Trap is my favorite. He's so sick.
I love Hans Trap.
Yeah, Hans Trap would be a cool-ass fucking horror movie.
I like that one.
Yeah. Hans Trap is cool.
Fuck,
and he's a scarecrow, so like scarecrows are pretty creepy.
Hans Trap fucks.
Yeah, Hans Trap fucks. So if you notice, right, a lot of these legends, like you're not getting any winter legends from, Peru. And you'd ask why. Turns out they don't really get winter.
Yeah.
So like, winter is really scary. It's cold, it's dark, everything dies, But all their crops would be dead. They were just kind of waiting and hoping that it didn't last forever because they didn't have calendars. So they just didn't know. It just started and they were like, ah, shit.
It's cold.
How long was the last one? Yeah. It was just terrifying. And all of these, if you notice, most of them are going after younger people.
Yeah.
And I think it was all just a way to keep people going outside.
Trap's got to get trapped by Chris Hansen, if you know what I'm saying. Because
because he's eating children.
Younglings. Why does Hans Trap...
Hans.
Hans... Why does Hans Trap feed on naughty children during Christmas time?
Because he was going after a child during Christmas time. The kid that Alvin,
Yeah.
the kid he stabbed,
Yeah.
he was going after Alvin during the Christmas season. It was during that time, and then he was killed by the divine lightning during that time. Yeah,
Gotcha.
But Hans Trap is really fucking cool. There are a couple other creatures. Like there's one from the Bulgaria area. And it is a combination of a demon and Sasquatch, and it was said to be a trickster, and it would ask you riddles in order for you to just kind of get out of the situation with him. Yeah. But he wasn't dangerous. He would just kind of he was just a playful kind of like Christmas spirit, so it didn't fit. But there's a lot of other Christmas deities out there. But we are not going to talk about them here because we just covered.
We're
7
fucking done.
Yeah. That was all of them. That's all of our Christmas monsters. I thank you. I appreciate it. I read a lot of weird things.
Yeah, this was a weird night.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things that I didn't know before.
You don't need to know now.
And I don't.
You could go home. It turns out we don't celebrate any of these in fucking America, so you could go home and never think about it again.
Wow.
I will.
You have to.
Every night. Every night I've been thinking
You're
about
cursed with knowledge.
I've been falling asleep to, and then in 15th century France, a man by the name of Hans Trap. That's every video I've been watching is just history, falling asleep to Christmas history videos.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's been.
God bless you. I don't know how you do it.
Really, honestly, this was really fun to put together. I got nothing more to say. There's no conclusion because it's just a hodgepodge list. So there's
But that you ended with a good one because that had a conclusion to that story.
That's why I ended with that. That's the big shebang because that's a big. And also the Hans Trap story is based off a real guy, but it turns out that the real story is a lot more stupid and a lot less scary. So the original guy's name was something Trap. It wasn't Hans Trap. It was like Von Trap or something.
Okay, which is still a really cool name.
Yeah, and he got into a land dispute with the government, it was France, so it was very influenced by the Pope at the time. And he got into a land dispute, and he kept disputing it over and over and over again. And eventually the Pope, in order to steal his land, excommunicated him. And then he went on to become a knight in the army. and eventually was just kind of celebrated, and his excommunication was taken away. So it really has nothing to. It's kind of like when you read about like Count Dracula.
Yeah.
Like Vlad Dracul, and you're like, I don't understand why people say it's the same, because that's a different guy, and he was not a vampire.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah, but it was good that we mentioned it. You should end it right there.
Well, I gotta plug everything.
Yeah, there's in all caps. It
Plug
says,
everything.
Plug Matthew.
If you like this episode, go to
That's
the YouTube channel. It's at I'm Not Crazy if you're not on there now. If you are on there, subscribe to the fucker. If you haven't subscribed to the fucker, then do that. Like it, subscribe to it. Say that again, whatever. What's the other thing? A review, comment.
Like, subscribe, comment. Leave 5 stars.
Yeah. If you're listening to it on a podcast app, please put a review. It fucking helps a ton. Go to TikTok for more of the short form content. It's really great. It's totally different from this. So if you're looking for more, a little bit quicker and more condensed, go there. It's really fun.
Yeah, the shorts are great.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I've been putting a lot of work into it. So that's why there was no episode last week, because I'm just trying to get my bearings with that. But coming the new year, the month of January is going to be Monster Month. We are covering only monsters in January. I'm so excited. It's going to be just monsters.
Can you give us a taste, or is it all like a surprise?
What the fuck are you talking about? It's not cake. Matthew, do you have anything that you'd like to plug to all 16 people?
The tub when I take a bath. I got the joke out last time. I want to get it out again today.
God, fuck you.
Yeah. Matt Provenzano 5 on Instagram. MattProvenzano.com. Purple Cloud NY on Instagram. PurpleCloudEntertainment.com.
Okay.
ShockJocksPodcast.com.
Okay.
Twitch.tv/Zine Queen. Oh shit, yeah, Zine Queen. I have a YouTube channel that's been long dead for a while. It's Matamation, right? And I've been thinking of adding some stuff, not what's already there, because I used to do movie reviews and stuff, like Nostalgia Critics type shit when I was in college. I thought that was funny. I want to try other things.
It wasn't funny.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
I hate your podcast.
I did a vlog once.
That's right, the Vandy vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also.
We have a rich history of making
Not
things.
funny.
I love the Vandy vlogs.
It's I watch it every once in a while. It's still very wholesome.
Yeah. It's also
it's filled with people I love too.
It's a time.
You know, people that are still in my life heavily. You know.
Yeah.
Shout out. Not putting that.
Boom goes the dynamite. Okay, so yeah, that's all. You don't even have to put the Matamation.
This is a 35-minute outro.
Yeah, well, I'm done. Those are all my plugs.
All right, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And I'm gonna look at every camera we got, because they're all fucking my footage, you bitch.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas. I hope Perk that doesn't fill you with hose. Good night.